Hey guys.
Hi.
You're listening to Not As We Planned, so get ready for
Honest,
raw,
unfiltered,
unhinged story,
where we share our advice, opinions,
and talk about all the shit that people avoid discussing. We want to point out we are not qualified professionals, although I feel like I am one.
and what we say is the advice we would give to our besties. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Not As We Planned. Guys, as always, if you can go and give us likes, shares, reviews, only positive ones, because a couple of you have been negative Nancy's and you've got issues. Me and my, do you know what? I've got issues. Me too.
I'm all for constructive criticism.
Don't write on a public platform, just message us.
Yeah, it's giving tassel.
It is.
No, do you know, we're not going to be liked by everyone. I guess I just find it quite weird because my thought process would never be that if I listened to something I didn't like to go out my way to
It'll just be like, this isn't for me.
I'd never leave a negative.
Yeah,
so I didn't listen again because there's been podcasts I've listened to where I'm a bit like, oh, not my vibe.
Bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
But anyway, I'm
all for it.
like we said, like there's going to be negative, there's going to be positive. I think we know deep down what this brings to so many people. So,
But look, it's like everything. Like you're obviously just not the audience we want, and that's okay. It's cool, babe. Anyway,
you're doing any update? I don't really have.
are we doing an update? There was something I was going to speak about actually. Obviously, you got like loads of stressful voice notes from me yesterday. I've had a bit of a stress. That's probably an understatement. I've had a very stressful week personally. Details I can't go into. And yeah, I did get myself in a bit of a negative headspace. And I spoke to Tash yesterday, and she was like, "Look, you're the most positive person I know. So, you know, give yourself this time to blah blah blah. And, like you'll be fine. Blah blah blah." And it's true. And just one thing I wanted to share, and it is something I am quite like disciplined at doing, is I think a lot of people always say to me, like, do you ever like have days where you're feeling negative? And I don't ever want to come across like I'm a robot and I don't feel things, because I absolutely do. Like I have days where I'm stressed. I have days where I'm sad or angry or pissed off or whatever it is. But what I've really started doing, particularly over like the last year, is like allowing myself a certain time frame to feel those things. So often I'll give myself a day. If it's really shit, like it has been this week, I'll give myself a couple of days to feel all those things, get things out, journal, talk about it to people I need to talk about it to, vent it, feel it, cry, scream, shout, whatever it is I need to do. And then I'm like, right, when that time is done, there's no more, because I'm not the kind of person who, I don't really like something negative seeping into my day, but it does, and that's life. I don't like making like a negative thing means I'm then going to have a negative week, and that negative week's going to turn into a negative month, and that negative month means I'm going to be feeling rubbish and sad for a year, whatever it is. I think we need to take the accountability and responsibility to flip it on its head, feel those things. I'm human, right? These things are actually beyond my control. So what I need to do now is focus on the things that are within my control and focus on all the other positive things I have. And I have got a lot better at doing that. I do feel quite disciplined in that. Like today, I feel like a completely different person. Like I feel like, and I think where I allowed yesterday, just it was what it was. And I have got like some stressful things coming up. But again, I'm going to do exactly the same. On these days, I'm allowed to feel whatever. And then the next day, we cut it off there, because we say it all the time, but you get one life, and I refuse to let things that aren't in my control to dictate how my life is going to be. You can choose whether you're going to let it impact you. And I'm not downplaying anything someone might be going through. Every challenge you go through is an opportunity to grow and push you in some kind of way. So I'm just trying to use anything negative, anything stressful, anything that's making me sad or whatever. I know I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay because I don't have a choice but not to be. And yeah, I just hope that maybe helps someone today try and reframe their mind and give themselves a certain time to feel things, and then be like, right, on this day, it's back to trying to be positive.
Amen.
Amen. Anyway, that was that. So any other catch-ups?
Nothing from men.
Inspired.
So we were going to do a little segment today. Shall I start reading some? So we asked you the weirdest or funniest things that happened to you on a date. Do we have any that we can share?
The weirdest, funniest thing that happened to me on a date.
I don't feel like I've been on that many to have that much of a thrilling story. The one that just stands out to me is when I went out with that guy first day, and he was about 15 years older than his photos, and I got my friend to call me. I changed from my phone to mum, and then he still tried to kiss me, although I couldn't have shown more like obvious the whole time was not interested. Oh, I remember when he tried to hold my hand over the table. He was like, it was just really hard to read.
Do you know what? I haven't actually had any weird, funny ones. They've more just been like red flags.
Okay, we've got quite a few here. Are we ready?
Oh, no, I did have something weird actually. I just find this like a bit weird on like, I went on this date. It was the guy who I went on the walking date with, and then we went out for dinner. And then like...
Well, you kept voice noting me, like record.
No, that was... No. That was weird. And he... Yeah, so the vibe was really different, like at the dinner, like, and I knew like we weren't going to see each other again. And like, bear in mind, like he'd walked to the restaurant because he lived 10 minutes away, and then he's like, do you mind giving me a lift home? And I didn't really know how to say no, and it was really awkward. And at the time, you know what mum cars get like? I had like a freeze packet and like superheroes and like scooter helmets and stuff in my car. And I was like, I can't.
Sorry, I had to put something in my car that I'm trying to impress. Not that you were trying to impress him, but like without warning, like.
But even like,
got the ick.
Do you know what it gave me the ick that he asked for a lift.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was like, yeah, sure. And then he was like, oh, I can't. I need to move this. I was like, I just get in, I'll drop you off.
No, but do you know what can be quite icky? You know, like if the car, like the seat is really far forward because of the kids, and they get in, and then it's like slowly like.
It just fully gave me the ick.
It doesn't give me the ick because I love him, but you should see when James gets into the passenger seat and it's not been moved for him. He literally like, okay, let me read some of these. I fell asleep in the toilet after too much drink, and he had to break the door down to get me out. That is hilarious. Sorry, I really want to know if that ever...
I've fallen asleep in a toilet before on a night out.
Yeah, but not a day.
No, I would die.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. I full on wet myself on my first date with my ex-husband, had to pretend the tap went on too far.
No.
Oh my God. Very drunk, lost a heel in the gap between the train and the platform as I tripped trying to get on the train. Oh my God, you can't stall that one out at all.
Please mind the gap. Oh my God, what are you going to do? You just got to laugh, but you've just got to laugh.
All the way.
Yeah, but I do sometimes feel like funny situations make it can show you a lot about a person as to how they then deal with said situation.
Yeah. He took me to the local YMCA and he had his own mother. I was only 16. But I think...
Well, no, what is it? Young man's...
No, I think it must be some sort of like members club or something. Well, imagine like he takes you somewhere, he's like, oh guys, can I just quickly take my mug from behind the bar?
That's giving it.
That is disgusting. Sorry, I'm still dying at the fact that someone lost their show. Blake's managed to...
Oh. Holding a guy's hand over coffee and my watch vibrated with a message from another potential date. Long really? No, that would actually, I'd want to die. A guy told me he was a vampire because he died for like 3 minutes when he was a baby and that he liked the taste of blood. He now owns a TV channel. That's the thing he tells all the girls, isn't it? I died for 3 minutes.
Sorry, but I feel like that's something my kids would say. Like, I'm a vampire. Ivy always tells me she likes the taste of blood.
I like the taste of blood. I get that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Don't bite me. Sorry, if I was on a date and someone told me that they were a vampire, I'd literally be like,
I'd be out.
if you're not like one of the vampires from the Vampire Diaries, hun, you need to go.
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger impression right through the date, never eaten so fast. See, this is quite funny because someone I've been on dates with recently, like, I feel like a lot of our dates are just us doing impressions back and forth.
Maybe you should do a vampire impression.
I'd love that. He put his back out and I had to help him pee into a pot on the first day.
Oh, what my God.
That would give me the egg.
Okay, so my friend, would this give you the ick? It didn't give her the ick. My friend on the first day, the guy that she was with, they were just like having a drink and he had a nosebleed.
No, that's just like...
I think that would give me the ick.
Probably, it depends how he deals with it. If he's going to put a tampon up there. Or like, or when they stick tissues up and it's just there, that would give me the ick, yeah.
What if he arrived with that little patch of toilet paper from where he
God,
moving?
Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, when she told me he had a nosebleed, she was like, oh, like, I felt really bad for him. And like, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, probably.
Like, was he picking his nose too much?
I do feel like as time goes on, like I get the ick very easily.
I don't if I really like.
No, but I mean on the first
Do you
day.
think that you can get the ick if you're in love?
No, I think you find it endearing because I look back at things like my ex-boyfriend.
Well, I guess I just said like he got in the
Yeah, I would find there's things now that I look back at and I think because I've given myself the ick, I'm like ick. But at the time I was like endearing, cute. I think icks are mostly icks when you don't really know someone as well.
A fine line between cute and icky.
Yeah, and I think there's very blurred lines when you love someone. You just, I don't know, it maybe turns into cute.
Oh my God, if I was on a date, I think one of my biggest icks would be, like, what would give me the icks if I was on a date and he had like a bogey hanging out his nose?
No, I couldn't get over that. I'd die. One guy asked if he could smell me and I said, okay. And he leaned right in for a long sniff.
Is it weird that I don't know if that would put me off?
If someone's coming to smell me, you're gone, hun.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh.
This one's from a man.
Really?
A woman took me back to hers to show me her snake once.
Did you show her yours?
Got anaconda and got buns, hun. I fell headfirst into a river and he put bin bags on his car seat so I didn't get his seats wet. How do you manage? I need the story as to how you fell into a river on the first day.
Was he concerned? Did he mind?
Did he jump in to help
Was
you?
he just concerned about his car seat? It's like, babe, get out the fucking river. I'm going to go
Did you
get
see
some
him out there?
come
Yeah.
down the road.
No fucking ruining my car seats. Blacked out leather. What?
Sorry, this is so random. One guy I was with pointed to another guy in a club going, oh my God, he tried to stab me when I was younger. He tried to
All right. That's the fucking ends. Make love, not war.
He got a guitar out and played songs until I could guess what they were. I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Joe, I would be loving that. I'd be loving it. I'd be like, la, 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 la.
I mean, if it was given like Ed Sheeran talent, then we'd be okay. If it was more like Bar Black Sheep, I'd be like, you need to go. My kids were playing it. Will you come to my kid's birthday party?
Did you do bookings?
The guy had odd, short, fat, really wide fingers and nails, and I couldn't get them out of my mind. Do you know what I must say? Like,
Is there a thing?
yeah,
I was on a date with someone a few months ago and I couldn't stop staring at his fingernails. They were long. I think for a man, if they go past your fingers, it's not, I couldn't stop looking. I was like, Carly, you're being really shallow, but...
But I remember when we once asked about like a question box, like, give us your biggest ick. I think one
Nails.
Yeah, nails came up
So much. I am really funny about nails, I have to be honest.
Do you know what? Like a thing for me that I like obviously like nice hands, like well kept nails, great. But like veiny.
Oh yeah.
Veiny.
I still have a hat, like a solid
Veiny, thick arm and hand.
Yeah. I've got a new thing for tats as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, my boyfriend's hands are like, he should be a hand model.
This hand is my hand. This hand is your hand. No, wait, it's my hand. I hope you get the reference, Dad.
Oh my God, when I was on a date, I bumped into my dad at the theatre of all places.
Oh my God, I would die.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be okay with that. I ran into my ex and it turned out my date knew him.
Oh my God.
We pretended not to know each other. So my date introduced us to each other. Mortifying.
I would die.
I'd lap that shit up.
You love the shit like
I know, but
what you do.
that is giving great moving. Yeah.
I'd rather opt out and die.
A knobhead raised his voice at me and criticised every life choice I've ever made. By twat.
I would just get up and go.
He turned up to pick me up in a limo.
All right, baller. That would
Limo's a bit
on.
icky.
It's giving 16.
Yeah, it's very like, let's go to Prague.
It's giving...
What's the thing that they wear? A corsage.
Yeah, I remember going to a birthday party and we went to, what's that place? Trocadero.
Oh, yeah.
Limo to Trocadero, and I think we went to like Planet Hollywood and we thought we were the fucking...
That's very like fun.
16. Yeah.
Oh, lol, talking of nosebleeds. I was dancing with my date when I accidentally headbutted him and made him have a nosebleed. I had to take him to the toilets to sort it out. That wouldn't give me the ick because, like, she caused it.
Funny. I'd love that.
I mean, that would be like a funny, like, oh, do you remember our first date when...
That would be a wedding speech.
Yeah. Took me to Wetherspoons.
Done. I'm out. You take me to Wetherspoons on a date, we're done.
Yeah, I've never been to a Wetherspoons. What is a Wetherspoons?
It's like a brand of pub, but it's fucking cheap. I used to work in a Wetherspoons.
Really?
Back in the day. They used to microwave the food.
Oh no, I went to the toilet when I came back. He'd invited his mate to join us. Oh, I think he was right to avoid. They were funny guys. We might do that again. They give me life. Should we crack on with some emails?
Okay, this is a really short one, but the title's got me. It's got me in a chokehold, so we're going in. Dogging.
Cool.
I feel like it fits with what we're talking about. Hello.
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 Hi.
I have been with my boyfriend for nearly 10 years. We are recently engaged. We have such a good relationship now, but have had our fair share of problems. About 2 years ago, I started to see marks in his boxer shorts. So I went through his phone and found dogging articles and searches in the maps for areas of the locations on where to do this.
Can I just double check? Sorry if I'm being really naive. Is dogging when people go to watch people have sex?
Going to get the proper definition.
Or I guess you can either be the ones having sex or the ones...
I think so. The practice of watching or engaging in exhibitionist sexual activity in a public place.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's because I love being watched. But no, I've personally never dogged or been a dogger.
Yeah, what's the verb?
I don't engage in dogging. I never have. I think it's quite scary. Like, I once saw a dogging documentary, and sometimes people knocked on people's windows and joined in, and that forever haunted me.
They like kill them.
Who knows? I know certain dogging spots.
Probably quite a, like, not popular, but it's probably quite a...
Risque.
No, like murderers to go, like, and kill people. It isn't very, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, it's just not for me. Look, I understand the thrill of being watched or caught, but I'd rather not go. I feel like it's an arranged thing. I think it's the idea of it being like an arranged thing and known, whereas I feel like it's actually more exciting.
Just having sex in a public place where you could get caught.
Yeah, like that. I think for me, the thing that makes it weird is like the arrangement of it. And it's
like knowing to have sex and people probably go.
I think for me, if I was to like think about the idea of getting caught, I think for me the thrill would be it just being like on a whim with someone, and it not being like I always think pre-organized fun just isn't as good as just spontaneous fun, and I feel like it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anywho, I kept this from him for a while and started observing him. Can imagine her there with her glasses making notes.
She's stalking him.
And one day,
Observer becomes the observee.
and the doggy. One day I saw him on my way home driving into a known dogging park, and I called him and told him I saw him. Anyway, to cut a long story short, it blew up and I told him what I had seen months prior and about the marks in his boxers. Does that mean like what he'd like jizzed himself?
Yeah.
Okay. Jizz in my pants. Jizz in my pants.
I don't know what songs you listen to. I just listen to like We're Never Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift.
Jizz in my pants.
The way that James is upstairs, I he's probably hearing you being like, what is going on in this episode? See what I mean? I'm quite positive. He came down, he's like, oh no, that's
Jesus, that's right. Wait, what about I'm a bad babysitter, got my boyfriend in the shower.
yeah, I know that.
I'm making $6 an hour. I'm a bad babysitter, got my boyfriend in the shower. Babysitting sucks, whatever. We got concrete.
There's any babysitters out there that would charge me £6 an hour.
Oh, it's back before the cost of living crisis.
Yeah, so.
A bit delirious today. Anyway, to cut a long story short, it blew up, blah, 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 blah. I was ready to leave and had never been so sure about it. He ended up breaking down and said he'd been watching porn whilst at work on his breaks, and that was where the marks were from in his boxers. And he also told me stuff from his childhood that was traumatic. I don't actually know if I believe this, but anyway, I ended up staying with him. Fast forward to a couple of months ago, and he told me he'd like to watch a man have sex with me. I feel completely alone because I can't discuss this with anyone as it's humiliating. He says he loves me, but I just don't believe he could. I told him to leave and go explore what he needs to, but I feel he's staying out of fear. In case he does, but doesn't like it, and then he's lost me. He's now saying he doesn't feel like that anymore, etc. And he wouldn't want to watch me with another man. But I'm scared he's going to do something behind my back. And that is the email. Well, let's just digest that.
Yeah. So we have spoken about this before.
Gotta be quiet.
It's fine. I think it's for the concept.
It's quite a wild episode.
We have spoken about it. Do you need some kitchen roll? Or do you want to just use the rug? Just got the giggles today. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah. And don't, because that negative comment said we're insensitive. No, it's not about that at all. I feel like sometimes me and Tash, we're on the level where we like can have conversations in our head without having to say anything out loud. It's happening right now. Yeah, sure. Exactly. Okay. What's that noise? An oracle. Oh, it sounds like a banshee. We have had this conversation before, and I don't know whether you've heard us talk about that's actually quite not an unusual fetish, but it is actually quite common.
No, it's a thing.
It is quite common.
Isn't it called voyaging? Not voyaging. Voyeurism. Voyeurism.
I think so, where I think it's more so men like the idea of women being fucked and them watching. I think the issue that you have is I don't think that fetish of his is going to go away. And I think my only worry would be if I'm with someone where I can't fulfill their fetish is that they will want to seek it elsewhere.
Agree.
But I also find that fetish quite a confusing one, because why would you want your partner to fuck someone else?
I know.
I can't understand it because it's obviously not something that I
Engage in.
I'm not even engaged in. Like I desire.
Yeah. I would feel
I
like
think it doesn't mean that he doesn't love you because
I know, but I think particularly as women, like for me, I'd want to be with someone who'd be like, absolutely no one is touching my girl. Like I would no, like
I feel like that's a sort of fetish that you maybe wouldn't mind someone having if they were just a bit of a fling and you could see some like long-term future. Put it this way, that person doesn't obviously believe in monogamy. So I think
I would go and watch Open House because they definitely normalise it on there.
No, but the thing is, I think that obviously doesn't fall in line with monogamy.
It's not monogamy, no.
So if one person in a relationship believes in monogamy and the other one doesn't, that is such different values that I don't think long term I
agree.
That
is definitely like on dating apps when it's like my relationship type.
Well, one of the things is there
no, but it's just like
non-monogamy.
I don't know because mine just said monogamy, but
there are other options.
There are. Yeah, or it's like figuring it out.
I think also you don't mention that you've got kids together. You've already gone through situations where you haven't been very happy with his behaviour. It doesn't sound like you massively trust him. I think maybe this should be like the icing on the cake to sort of make that jump to end the relationship.
I agree. Also, like, what if you did it and then he changed his mind and then you've slept something out?
Yeah, can I say also, I think that sometimes these sort of fantasies are fine when they're fantasies, but once they actually live them out, the insecurities come in and the paranoia comes in, and I think it ruins a relationship.
Yeah, I think the difference between a fantasy and reality is very different. I think some things are good to keep as a fantasy and they don't need to materialise.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is called Is This the End or Not? Hi ladies, I finally plucked up the courage to write in after months and months of binge listening to your podcast. Patreon member too, whoop whoop, we love that. Here it goes. May not make sense, I apologise if I'm writing this in work. Naughty. I was married for 14 years to the most narcissistic, abusive and controlling man on this earth. We separated during lockdown, which in itself was a challenging time. Our children were 11, 9 and 5 at the time. He pretty much moved into his next conquest within a matter of weeks after apparently meeting on the top of a mountain during lockdown.
What?
Yeah. They are still together, moved to the lakes, both as narc as each other. That can be another write-in though. It was a messy breakup involving family courts, numerous police investigations, non-molestation orders, CAFCAS and social services. Safe to say it has taken me years of working on myself to get back to the old me before we met. Fast forward to October 2023, and after going to the S Club 7...
I was there. Ain't no party like an S Club, gonna show you how.
Wonder if I saw you. After going to the S Club 7 in concert with my friend, I ventured into our local town for a few drinks. It was here that I met my now partner. I think he is anyway. I'll let you help me out with that one.
Oh, God.
Things have been going great. And then in January 2024, the blow came of him being unwell, diagnosed with a non-benign brain tumour. Obviously, this was a lot to deal with and he was going to have regular appointments. However, during these appointments, they found out he has cancer in his adrenal gland in April 2024. Upon his adrenal gland being removed in August 2024... Oh, did I say April or August?
You said April the first time.
Fine. The gut-punching news of pancreatic cancer was found. Jesus Christ. For his own sanity, he moved himself to a small town in Wales, 3-hour car journey away from everyone to start his treatment and self-healing, which I really do not blame him for. If this is what he needed to do for himself to get better, then I was fine with that happening. To say this journey has been hard is an understatement. He had his tumour removed in August 24 whilst undergoing intense chemotherapy for cancer. After surgery, we were told that 80% of his memory may have gone and he may not remember certain people and things in his life. Yes, you guessed it. I was a memory that...
Wow.
During this hard time, we still continued to message and talk, and I shared pictures and happy times of us together to try bring back even a small amount.
Oh, my God.
He did remember certain things like how shit I am at painting. I like crocs and Highland cows. To me, this was all I needed as hope. Not one of his friends would have been able to give him that information about me. The months passed without physically seeing him, which has been so hard, but we talk and message every day. So with the tumour removed, chemo ended, cancer-free, he's been making more of an effort with me, coming to see me. We've been going for some weekends away, even meeting my children 18 months on, and it's all been amazing. But we've never really discussed being boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm 38 and he is 45. Future plans or anything like that. I've approached this conversation with him. He said he loves living where he is now and has no intention of moving back this way. Obviously, the position I'm in with my ex at the moment, I could not move away, work commitments, school and family. I was planning on going his way this weekend with the children and let him know my plans for him to say he's going to Cornwall for a last minute getaway and will be staying there until he decides to come back. Girls, I need your advice. Am I wasting my time here? I feel like we've been through the mill and back and still nowhere further down the line 2 years on. Just to add, I have faced health issues myself in this time with no support of him. Felt like I couldn't ask for this due to his own health issues, a mini stroke which has resulted in me losing my hearing and now having to wear 2 hearing aids. I've got to be honest, I think you are wasting your time. I'm just going to be blunt and not beat around the bush. What he went through is absolutely terrible, and I'm so happy to hear that he's doing well, but it does not sound like you are a priority at all. And the fact that distance is so big, and then he's just like upping and leaving and going somewhere else until the foreseeable and doesn't know his plans. It doesn't sound like he has you in his future plans. So I think it's time that you put yourself first.
Yeah, wow. Sorry, just digesting. I feel like it's a bit given that film. What's that film? Dear John? No. The one where she loses her memory. Can't think what it's called. Missing You or something.
I don't know if I'm just thinking of 51st Dates.
Definitely.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's with Michael McAdam.
Yes. I think it's a really tricky situation because I imagine the frustrating part for you is thinking like, where could this have been if that hadn't had happened? And I think what you really need to do is look at who he is now. And whilst it's been like some devastating circumstances that has probably resulted in the situation, like where he lives and stuff, those are things that are beyond your control. They're things that have happened. They're things that you can't change. And so you need to be realistic in the circumstances you're in right now. And I agree with Tash, like right now, you know, whether or not what he's gone through has impacted like where he is in terms of like his thinking with stuff. Like, I guess it's harder because you almost like feel sorry for him because he's been through the mill of it. But like you said, so have you.
I guess he doesn't have the memory of.
That's what I mean. So he doesn't have
history.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I can like really empathise that like, well, why would you if you can't feel that? Like,
but I don't think that what he's doing is necessarily wrong, but what I think is she needs to put herself out.
I agree. That's what I completely agree. I think the hard thing is you almost want to like be able to remind him, and almost like I understand like you might want to stick with him and see if his memory comes back because you've said like that when he like spoke about some of the things he remembered that gave you that hope. And I think really the hardest thing is you now need to let go of that hope. It's not guaranteed he's going to remember, and I think you need to deal with what you're getting now. Draw a line under it that it was an experience. You had some very happy times together, but he can't give you the future that A, you want, and B, you deserve, and you shouldn't have to compromise on that. Believe me, I understand what it's like when, you know, there is a significant distance and you know, you're co-parenting with someone else. It's not easy. And yeah, I think you need to cut the cord. You don't have children with him, no contact, and I promise you will be okay. I promise you will. This one is called Thank You. Thank you. Next. So I feel like I just sang this whole episode. I can't believe I've only just come across this podcast. Knock on wood. I've been binge watching it from the beginning the last couple of weeks, trying to catch up. I'm sure you get lots of emails similar to this, and I've never emailed anything like this before, but I really felt like I had to say thank you. I split up with my partner in January. There was quite a few things wrong in the relationship. He would turn and walk away over the slightest disagreement and go missing for days on end, blocking me off his phone, so I had no way of getting in contact with him or knowing where he was.
It's just wild that like adults
Like, yeah,
do that, like communicate in that way, isn't it?
wild. He would then come home when he was ready and say, sorry, let's just forget it, refuse to talk about anything and just want to brush it under the carpet and not take any accountability. He also had a way of twisting his actions to make it seem like it was my fault so he wouldn't have to take any blame. This drained me as I'd be left with our 2 children on a regular basis having to try and carry on as normal when I wouldn't even know where he was. It got to the point where it happened that much I almost became used to it. I felt like I was walking on eggshells, having to watch what I'd say all the time, knowing the slightest thing may make him leave. He was very emotionally immature, had a bad temper. He never hurt me physically, but was very hurtful with his words and actions when angry. I felt like I had to beg for the bare minimum. There was no affection. He'd never pay me a compliment or give me any attention, and I felt so underappreciated. I've tried so many times to tell him how I felt, but he used to just say I was moaning and never happy. He didn't ever care about how I was feeling or want to improve our relationship. The last straw was the messages I found on his phone to other girls. So many messages to many different girls. So inappropriate, flirty, crossing the line, basically acting like he was a single man, not a family man with a partner and 2 kids. This was the second time I'd found these kind of messages. The first time was when our daughter was 8 weeks old. I decided then to give him a chance to make it work for the sake of our family, but after it happening again, I knew I couldn't keep living like this. Splitting up with someone you've had a family with and thought you were going to be with forever is just the hardest thing to have to go through. I still loved him and just wanted him to fight for me and our family, but he never did. It broke my heart how he could just walk away so easily. The way he's acted since and the way he's treated me has been vile. There's times I've been so low I couldn't see how I'd ever feel happy again. I feel like I'm surrounded by happy couples and happy families and that no one else around me can understand what I'm going through. However, your podcast has really made me realise I'm not alone and that unfortunately there's so many other women in situations similar to mine. It's actually shocked me just how many shit men there are out there, to be honest. Lately, I'm slowly starting to feel a bit more myself again and I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. I just wanted to thank you for making this podcast. I'm sure you're helping so many women by doing what you're both doing. Can't wait to catch up fully to see where you both are in your lives now. I'm currently about halfway through. Thanks again.
Oh, so nice.
Good.
And you know what? It's emails like that make me think like the negative comments they don't matter.
They're just directed to the wrong people.
Yeah. You should be really proud of yourself for doing what you need to do and accepting that. Look, we've both been there, like losing that family unit and that relationship not going the way you wanted. And obviously I really relate when you say that you just wanted them to be better, to do better for you, to, you know, you get married thinking that it's going to be forever. And unfortunately that doesn't happen for everyone. And I guess we are proof that things do get better, things can get better, and you will move on and you will eventually look back and realise like why that needed to happen and why that chapter needed to close, to have other opportunities come about. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it also gives a lot of hope to those people who maybe are brushing things under the carpet right now and, you know, giving them the push that they can make that choice, they can leave. And I think that's why we love doing what we're doing, because I feel like without knowing it, like each one of your stories helps to, you know, inspire someone else and give someone else that hope. That because I feel like one of the most common things with this is so many of us are often like the first ones to go through it in our friendship group, or we don't know anyone around us who's going through the same thing. And that is exactly why we created this, because we were both that person in our lives. I had no one else who would understand what I was going through, and just knowing that that aspect of it is working means the world to us.
Yeah, and it's a lonely place, isn't it? And it's really nice to hear that you feel like you're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, because that does come.
It clicks, something clicks, and you realise you're better with it.
It will come for every single one of you, so don't feel like
It's not so
okay. Yeah, everyone's okay, but I'm not. Like, you will be as well. Right, product of the week.
So I don't know if you've tried it yet. The Be Perfect skin tint.
No, I've got a set. So what can I just ask? What are you using it either instead of or as well as
I don't wear foundation day to day.
Yeah.
It's too much on my skin. I don't like it. I like my skin to breathe. What I was previously doing was just using like bronzing drops, but sometimes I felt like it didn't give any coverage. It just like made me darker. This kind of like evens out like skin tone and like imperfection. So I do like my moisturizer. I put that on, and then I've put a few bronzing drops on.
So I would do that first, like almost like a moisturizer.
But honestly, like the consistent, I can't even explain it. I used it for the first time yesterday because it is like, I don't know. I've never found like a BB cream or something like in the middle of like a moisturizer and a foundation. I'm not a foundation girly at all. Only when I go out.
SPF as well.
It's 25, so I'll be blunt. I personally wouldn't rely on that. I always have SPF 50 on just as protective. But honestly, like the consistency is absolutely freaking stunning. Like just, really, really pleased with it.
Okay, confession of the week. When I found out that my husband had been cheated on me, I went and took one of his credit cards. He has so many, and I know he doesn't keep track of all of them. We separated 18 months ago, to which I'm still using his credit card, and he has not yet clocked. I mean,
what if he like tracks it back and makes you pay it all up?
But like, where's the proof? Like, it's his card. Like,
true.
Wow. Send me his details.
Say in the Patreon chat.
Like, can you imagine being that rich? Like, for 18 months, you're just not checking your credit card. Are you all right, hon?
You okay?
Good for you, babe. You enjoy. You go to Selfridges. Right, affirmation of the week. Here we go. You will find your light at the end of the tunnel. Now, the tunnel might be a bit longer for you compared to others.
Might have a few bends in it.
Yeah. Few bends, few turns, might be a signal, might be a little flood here and there, but you're going to get there in the end. And know that every single person that finds that light at the end of the tunnel is no more special than you are. So you will get there. Concentrate on your journey only, do the work, and you will eventually realise why you needed to go through what you went through to get to where you are meant to be.
Hey, freaking man, girl.
Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Love you, bye.